Page 224, the Cuckoo. Very old piece if you look at the years when this composer lived. It's just a solo repertoire. It's a piece you can learn to play for people. They went, oh, play me something. You play piano? Okay. And then you have to play junk. Been there, done that. So this is a nice piece. People enjoy hearing it. You got to learn it first because it's a little tricky in places. It's got notes all over everywhere. So let's see. I'll just go through the same process. It doesn't matter how complicated the music is. This process takes me through what I need to do. I look it over, it's 1 page long, treble bass clef, 2 sharps in the key signature, so it's either in the key of D major or B minor. If you look at the last measure, you're here. These chords, these notes, they're all a B minor chord. I figure we're in B minor, but do the scales and arpeggios for both. D major and B minor, and you probably should do them 2 octaves. So if you don't know them, 1 octave is fine because you need to learn them. You need to know which notes are in the scale, and it should be automatic so you're not really thinking about it. But if you know them, do the 2 octaves. But do the trill and tremolo exercise I explain in the videos. That will do you the most good in my opinion. And 3/8 times. So an 8th note gets a count. So all of a sudden these 16th notes maybe not quite so bad because they're just 2 16th notes, 2 1/8 notes, a 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. The rhythm looks a little tricky, and people will get this wrong. They see the first measure, or any measure just about. You see the 3 16th notes beamed together, and they'll think, oh, that's a triplet because they're beamed together, and they'll play it that way. And that's wrong. It's incorrect. That's not what it is. They are not triplets because we need 3 beats in the measure. You have a 16th rest on beat 1. So the first 8th note or 16th note comes on the and of 1. 1 and. So it's 1 and 2 and 3. That's all it is. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And I'm just spreading out here. They say 3. I don't like being up in here, so I do that. And then the 5. And then for the A sharp, you can do a 3 if you want, but they're still thinking you're doing 1. And here you can do 1 because they're both black keys. You can get away with it, but you can also do a 4. However, on the last note there in measure 4, the 8th note, the F sharp, it is a little easier if you can put your thumb on that. Because in measure 5, you need to come up to this F sharp. And you can reach it more easily with the thumb. So just put the thumb on the last one, and then you can reach up. Of course, you can always use the finger in the book, and you're already there. There, whichever. Pick one. And then measure 5, you're up here. And I do a 5. And they're doing 5 again. Whoops, what's going on in measure 7? Well, it's a dotted rhythm. And there's one of that last note that has 3 beam, 3. That is a 32nd note. There's 8th note, goes to 2 16th notes, and if you take those and divide them, you get 32nd notes. That's all that is. So it is like a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. This is 3 E and a 3 E and a 1. But 3. For our purposes, something like this, you just play it really quick. So that measure 1 and 2 and 3. Just play it a real quick note. Don't turn it into a triplet. 1. No, that's a bum ba bum ba bum. No, it's short. Bum ba dum ba dum ba dum. And measure 8. 1 and 2 and 3. And then you do all that mess again. Now at the bottom, last 2 measures, the rhythm is the same as measure 7, different notes. Here, and then the last one is a D, an F sharp here. So you go to here, here. And however you're fingering it. Very quick. Well, hopefully the left hand's not quite so complicated. We're here. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 2, and 3. Now, the fingering, a measure 4 and 5. They want 2, 5, and then a 1, 4. See, they're both repeated notes. We're changing hand positions on repeated notes. That's fine. And then we have go to measure 5. It's a 5, 2. A little awkward, but it works. So, okay. So again, measure 4 is here. 1 and 2 and 3. 2 and 3. And they want you here. If you can reach. If you can do that. If not, you can slide off. It's hard to do. It's better if you can use 4th finger. Now going for measure 6 to 7. Measure 6 is here, and then 2, 5, and that 2 voices now. The bottom, you're going to hold that down for 3 counts. As you're doing that, you play on that. There, 1, 2, 3, 1. Connect the F sharp in measure 7 to the B in measure 8, because that's the bottom voice. Let's just do these voices one at a time in measure 7 and 8. The top voice in the left hand is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because in measure 8 you have the 2 B's. The dotted quarter note B with the stem going up, and the 8th note B with the stem going down. That's the voices. The top voice is stem going up. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to hold that down for 3 counts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the top voice. The bottom voice, stem's going down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, I don't have to hold the bottom voice down because that's all the bottom voice is doing. But when you put them together, you have to accommodate both voices. So 1, 2, 3. See, I have to hold that down for the top voice. There. And then you just come back up. Just lift up and move. 3. Now, and the next to the last measure, again, you got 2 voices. Hold the F sharp down. 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. That's okay. Now we attempt to put the hands together and see what we get here. And I'll hesitate, that's fine. Just want to know how the hands are working together. So it's here. When I play the F sharp in the right hand, the left hand comes up. See, so we're coordinating here. Again. So I have to hold the right hand 8th note down, don't lift it up. Again. I tend to want to hold the left hand down. You got to lift up. Now measure 7 here. These are all very connected. Everything's connected. Here. So at the end of measure 8, all those notes are down. B's, all 3 B's. So let's go over measure 7 and 8 real slowly. You're here. Here, and then here. Hold the F sharp in the left hand down. Now hold the right hand and here. These. Now hold the left hand thumb down. There. You have to work out the coordination. It's actually really good training because you'll learn more independence of the fingers when you can do this. And that's basically the piece. The last 2 measures is similar. Here and then here. And then once I have an idea what the hands are doing, I'll go back over it hundreds of times or whatever and slowly work out the hesitations. But I'm not going to tackle the whole thing because it's too tricky for that. I'm going to tackle it maybe a measure or 2 at a time. So I'll just get the first measure. There. I can just do it a measure or 2 at a time. But once I have like the first line or so learned, I'm not going to keep playing it. I put it aside. I need to focus on the parts I can't play yet. Don't keep spending your practice time playing the parts you can play when you're trying to learn a piece. Focus on the parts you cannot play, because you waste a lot of time in practice playing stuff you can play when you need to focus on the other stuff. So focus on what you cannot play. And then when you get through it all and you can sort of play it all, then you go back through and put it all together. And at first, it needs to be slow because we don't want any hesitations. We want a solid 1, 2, 3 at some speed. All the way through at your speed, not mine. No hesitations. And it would be helpful if you eventually get to the point where you can play most of this without looking at the keyboard, where you can feel when you're moving around here, where you can feel without having to look. You have to look at first, but eventually. And once I have that, no hesitations, then I'll add the articulation. The right hand is slurred, it's connected. You have to lift up for the rest. This left hand, you gotta lift up for the rest, otherwise you connect everything. So you're connecting everything, just lifting up for the rest. All the way through. Now, in going from measure 8 to 9, you can't connect all that, but it's the end of a phrase. It's okay, so you're here. You're gonna lift up, like taking a breath. Then the dynamics. MF at the beginning is mezzo forte, and here it's pretty much both hands together, because neither hand by itself works very well, but both hands together do pretty well. So I'm going to set both hands here, moderately loud, whatever you think that is, and so forth. You come down at the end of the second line, come down to about a moderately soft or so, and in the third line, measure 9, now you're soft. You're going to echo what you just did as soft. And in the last measure here, you're soft going down to very soft. This goes down by itself. It's the left hand. So the last note is very soft. That's sort of the dynamics. It's better to kind of feel it. As far as the speed goes, I really doubt this composer put that speed in there, because back when this music was written, composers didn't put a speed or dynamics or articulation, none of that. They give you the notes, and it was up to you to know how to interpret it. Somebody's put in moderato. It's got to be accurate, and it doesn't have to be real quick. It's a cuckoo, or whatever. It's not a real cuckoo. It's like the cuckoo's on drugs or something. No, it's just a nice, sweet cuckoo. That's all. I felt a retard at the end, I put it in. Yeah, it was part of interpreting music way back here at the end of a piece, like this time. You'd put a retard at the end. They wouldn't put it in the music, it was up to you. So in my opinion, if you feel a little getting slower there at the end, do it. It lets the people know we're done. As far as the natural accents go, it's pretty much the first beat of a measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. To hear each time. But again, when you divide beats up, each beat gets a little one. 1, 1, 2, 3. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. Well, we're going to go really slow, and because there's so many 16th notes in here, I'm going to put the metronome on 16th notes. You know, I adjust the metronome for what I need, because we need to go really, really slow. So it's here, 1 and 2, that speed. 1. We're going to go that slow. So make sure you can play it at least that fast with no hesitations, or this won't work. And learn it first. Don't try and learn it and then play with me. That's backwards. 1 and ready and go and 1.